Welcome back to Mustache Moto. It's Ben, and today we're going to continue our series for newer riders, and we're going to talk about motorcycle chains. Very, very important part of your motorcycle. Obviously, that's what brings the power from the engine to the rear wheel and makes you go. That's what makes all the fun. So most motorcycles today have a drive chain. There are most Harleys have a belt. A few other motorcycles have a belt. And then there's larger displacement. Touring bikes tend to have a shaft drive, but the vast majority have a chain. So you need to know how to take care of your chain, how to inspect your chain and make sure it's in good condition, and how to adjust it when that's necessary. So the first thing we want to do is we want to just inspect the chain visually and make sure there's no rust on it, nothing obvious. If it's all kinked up and not laying flat, that could be a problem. But generally, just give it a visual inspection, make sure it's in reasonably good shape. No obvious things like rust. So the next thing we want to do is see how clean or dirty the chain is. This is in pretty good shape. I rarely clean my chains. Sometimes they need it if they get too much gunk on them, too much grease on it. If you're going to clean your chain, you want to use either a specific chain cleaner that's safe for O-ring or X-ring chains. I'll get into that in just a second. Or you can use kerosene. Kerosene's the cheap way to go. That's kind of the standard. Use a cloth, douse it on, rub it off, let it dry. You don't want to use a pressure washer. You don't want to use a stiff brush. Both of those can damage the O-ring. So what's the O-ring? So most chains today have either an O-ring or an X-ring, some kind of a rubber gasket that seals the grease in the pin. So the chains are permanently lubricated internally. These make them last a whole lot longer. Of course, you still have to take care of the outside of the chain. Now, one more thing to look at is the master link. So the master link, obviously, you want a continuous chain, and to be able to get it on the swing arm, you have to be able to take the chain apart. So, and then when you put it on, you link it together. This is a rivet type master link. This is a permanent one. You can see it's got little divots in the pins. It's different from the rest of them. And that's because when you put that link in, or the mechanic puts that in, they use a tool and it mushrooms out that pin. It's permanently on there. The other style is a master clip style. It's a little bit older style, but still used quite a bit. And you can see it's got a link with a little clip on it. That's the master link. And you want to think about that clip to make sure it's put on the right way as a fish. And you want the head, the rounded part on it, to always be moving forward. It's going forward. So when your bike rolls, see how the chain moves? So you want the clip, the rounded part, facing this way. If it's on the bottom rung, it's going to be facing this way. It's always facing forward. All right. To continue with our chain inspection, the other thing that can really cause a problem on your chain, and what happens when it gets old, is it starts to stretch, and it stretches unevenly. This causes some spots in the chain to be tight and some spots to be loose. That's a sign you need a new chain. It also affects your ride quality. So we got the bike up on a block of wood, so it's the wheel's off the ground so we can spin it. And first I'm just going to spin it. Make sure I go all the way through, make the chain run all the way around. A good way to do that is just find that master link. It started up here. We're going to keep going. There, we see it again, so we've gone all the way around. Now, is that evenly, the amount of force it takes you to rotate the wheel, is it even all the way around, or does it get harder at some points? If it gets harder, that means you got a tight spot in the chain, okay? Another great way to test this is get on a slight downhill, residential street, somewhere where there's not going to be any traffic. And when you're going about 5-10 miles an hour downhill, pull in the clutch and just coast. Now, if the chain is stretched, you'll feel the bike it's almost like somebody's rhythmically tapping the brakes. And that's when it hits the tighter spot, it actually will slow the bike down and make it kind of pulse. And that pulse will change depending on how fast you're moving down the hill. Another great sign that your chain is stretched and needs attention. All right, the most basic maintenance on your chain is going to be lubricating it. So I told you, the pins are permanently lubricated inside the chain. but you still want to lubricate the surface of the chain. That's going to do two things. It's going to prevent rust, and it's also going to kind of prevent any excess wear on your sprockets, your front and rear sprockets on your bike. So how do you do this? First thing you do is go ride around in a circle, go round around the block, you know, warm the chain up. Basically use it as an excuse to get out there and have some fun. So once the bike is good and hot, the chain is warmed up, it's going to kind of accept that grease a little bit better, the spray. I've got this up so that the wheel's rotating. What I like to do is take a scrap box, slide that under, because as we spray the chain, we'll probably get some drippage, and we want to just protect the driveway there. So I'm going to, oops, got that under the wheel a little too much. I'm going to spin that until I see the, there we go. I got the master link here. And I'm going to use a chain wax. I really like this Maxima chain wax. It's pretty cheap. The waxes are clear, so they're not quite as greasy looking on there, and they don't fling off. So you're going to shake this up really good because you got to mix it up. And you probably want to stop and shake it a couple of times while you're doing this. Okay, I'm going to bend this tube down a little bit. It's going to give me a little better angle. And because you want to lubricate this side, that's the surface that actually hits the sprockets. So the way I do it, put that there, and I'm just going to spray that. Then I'm going to roll it, shake, spray it again. And we're back to the master link. So we've lubed the whole chain now. How often do you want to do this? About every 500 miles is a good average. And what I do is I just figure out how many tanks of gas that is. You know, my V-Strom, that was 2 tanks of gas. So every other tank of gas, I'd make sure I lubed the chain. If I was on a long trip, I'd make sure to lube it every few stops there too. I've seen some people, and I've known some people who will actually start the motorcycle, put it in gear, and let this wheel spin, and that's moving the chain, and then they spray it. Don't do that. You've got a real danger of losing a finger. I mean, if you were to somehow get something caught in there or get your shirt caught in there, whatever, don't do it. It's not worth it. It only takes a second to do it this way. So if your bike has a center stand or you have a track stand, obviously that's the way you want to get the rear wheel up off the ground. But if you don't, here's a quick, cheap, easy way to do it. Take a 2x4, cut a little notch in it. Bike's on the side stand. All we're going to do is kind of lift and push it onto the side stand, and we're going to shove this underneath. So look at that. Do our chain maintenance. When we're done, just grab the bike. There you go. Besides that, the stretched chain, or if you got a really rusty or nasty chain, it's not, straight, it's staying kind of kinked. I mean, obviously those are reasons you want to replace the chain. Another thing to look at is your sprockets. So with your sprockets, the teeth will get worn. The longer you have the chain, the more they'll get worn. These will start getting thin, or they'll even appear hooked or broken off. If you see that, definitely time to replace. But it's really hard to notice. I mean, as it wears, you don't have anything to compare it to, and it usually looks fine, at least to me visually. But when you get a new sprocket, you're like, oh my gosh, that thing was worn. So when you do replace the chain, which could be as little as 5,000 miles if you abuse it and you're not lubricating and you treat it bad and it's sitting out in the rain all the time, or I've gotten as many as 30,000 miles out of a chain. So it depends how you do that, how well you care for it. When you replace the chain, replace both sprockets, the front counter sprocket and the rear sprocket. If you don't, that chain's going to get fried really quick. Trust me, I've done that. Really screwed me up, and I had to replace everything anyway. So replace all 3 things, chain, front, and rear sprocket, at the same time. While we're talking about that, your front and rear sprocket, they have a certain number of teeth on them, right? That's whatever is specified by the manufacturer. You can adjust that. You can go up or down in the front or the rear sprocket and change how your bike performs where the power curve hits relative to the RPM. I guess it doesn't really change the power curve, but it changes how the bike feels and how it reacts. If you add teeth to the rear or subtract from the front, that's going to give you kind of a lower power. So you're going to be going slower and be able to get that power. Really good in the woods if you want that low end. Or if you add a tooth to the front or subtract from the rear, make sure I'm doing that right, add a tooth to the front and or subtract from the rear, that's going to make your bike have the power band a little higher in the RPMs. And so if you're on the interstate, your RPMs will be a little lower at the same speed and you'll get a little better gas mileage. On the V-Strom, I added one tooth in the front, and that allowed me cruising on the highway to be about 500 RPM lower. It just made the bike a little bit more comfortable. So it depends what you want to do. You can only go about 1 up or down on the front and about 3 up or down on the back. And 1 up on the front is the same as 3 in the back. Same thing. 1 down on the front is about the same as going up 3 in the back. So make that adjustment if you want to when you replace the chain. All right, another thing you need to check and adjust on your chain is the chain slack, the amount of slack in the chain, which you can see there's going to be some slack in it. Now, you want to have whatever the manufacturer specifies. If you have too little slack in the chain, if it's too tight, that chain's going to wear out really, really fast because the tension adjusts and changes depending on the position of the rear wheel when the suspension compresses. If it's too tight, it's going to mess that up. It's going to stretch that chain. If it's too loose, if it's a little too loose, you can get a lot of snatch in the drive line when you're changing gears, especially when you're like coming off the gas. If it's really loose, you could actually throw the chain off, and that would be really bad. Could lock up the rear wheel, could cause you a really bad accident. So most bikes are around 1 inch of chain slack. Now you need to check your manual because it is different depending on the bike, depending on how much rear travel there is in the suspension, things like that. So this bike's, I think, about 1 1/4, 1.5 inches of travel. You're going to measure it, well, first of all, on the side stand, not on the center stand. The rear wheel is not off the ground anymore. And you're going to go from pushing it down to pushing it up. And you could measure the top of the chain or the bottom of the chain, but just keep it the same. So where the top is at the bottom and where the top is when you push it up. You can do it with a ruler here. So if I push this down, we're at about a little over 2. And now we're a little under 1. So we got about 1.5 inches of chain slack there. That's about right for this bike. If you checked and it's pretty even, from spinning the wheel, it should be the same no matter where the chain is, but you could push the bike forward, go a little ways, and test it again to see. All right, if you need to adjust the tension on the chain, you'll loosen the axle nut, which is on the other side, and then this bike has a cam system where as you push it forward, each notch pulls that rear wheel back and tightens the chain. You want to do it on both sides, the same amount, probably just 1 click at a time, tighten it up, ride it, recheck your tension. Now, a lot of other bikes have a system where you basically, once you've loosened this up, there's sliders, and there'll be a bolt on the back, and you'll tighten it a little bit on each side, and that pulls the wheel back. Same thing, go a little at a time and make it even. To do it with the bolts, it's a good idea to put a little dot with a Sharpie on it at the bottom, and then you can move 1/4 of a turn at a time on both sides. Make sure it keeps the same amount and pulls the wheel back. Retighten your axle bolt, go for a ride, check it again. You want to do it evenly because if you don't, that rear wheel will get out of alignment, and you want to keep it straight in line with the rest of the bike. All right, now you know how to care for your chain and what to look for to make sure it's in good shape. Now get out there and ride.